Hello everyone, it's Chaz Large here with another Fix It video for you, and on the bench today we've got a little speaker unit. It's a Jabra unit, model number Solemate Mini, model HFS210, and I bought this off of eBay. It was not working for parts, and it was only cost me £5.50, so I thought, well, you know, nice little speaker that might come in handy as a little test speaker, or perhaps as a little speaker to plug into a phone whilst I'm sort of sitting in the garden room and wanting to listen to it. Don't know whether it supports Bluetooth or whatever, but I just thought it might be an interesting fix if I can fix it. The seller said that basically it's not where are we, there we go, cannot charge, and I don't know why. It's just not working. See description for parts not working. So that's basically what it was. So let's hope that we can see if we can find out whether it is working or not. Okay, so the first thing to check to see whether it is actually going to charge. So I've got a 5-volt power supply, and we can see our little meter there. We've got no current drawn, obviously, because we're not plugged in. So as soon as we plug it in, hopefully if it is charging or whatever, we should see that current changes. And nothing. The volts changed a little bit, I think. Yeah, let's plug it back in again. Oh, there's a little tiny glitch of current drawn there. Okay, let's hope that we can actually get into it. So something obviously is drawing. There is like a little high-pitched whistle in there. So I'm guessing that there is a sort of a power converter which is running, and it's trying to convert the power to charge the internal battery. Whether that internal battery has had it or what, I don't know. Anyway, let's disconnect it for now and see if we can get inside it. Now, from experience of other portable audio devices, they tend to be sort of built and then all sort of squeezed together with the grills, etc., pushed over the top. And it looks like on this particular one, if I can get it in the light right there, you can see it's got left and right speakers, and I think it's got either a reflex speaker in the background, but it might actually have another speaker. I don't know. So can't really see it. There's no sort of hidden screws that I can see, no places to hide a screw, although yeah, that's actually part of the rubber underneath this bit. So I think what I'm going to try and do is to see whether these side panels lever out in any way. I'm trying not to damage anything in the process. Can't seem to get in there with that. Let's try a good old spudger. Now that went in. And is it lifting? Yes, it seems to be lifting. There's the front grille, and luckily inside there, if I bring it up to the camera, you might just be able to see there are some screws inside there. That's on the rear speaker, and yes, it looks like it's a reflex speaker, so it works on the pressure from the front speakers going backwards to make that sound. Right, now do we have to take the front grille off as well? Seems to be tougher. Okay, let's take these screws out and see what we can see. Right, screws out. Does this back cover now come away. And there's the reflex speaker removed, complete with gunk. And there's our little battery, which looks like a lithium battery by the look of it. Let's see, 3.7 volts, 1150 milliamp hour, red plus, black minus, rechargeable lithium ion. Yeah, I can just about read that. Okay, so the circuit board is there, connector is there. Now we've got two screws on here which look like they could be for this side panel. Foam over that. Ah, that's interesting. On the end here we've got NFC, near field communication or charging. So presumably, I haven't even looked at if there's a user manual for this. Either you can charge your phone from this, or maybe this could be charged from a near field charging. I don't know. I have to look it up, but there's a charge plate there. That's the main controls, and presumably if there is a power amplifier, it's underneath the battery. So as it's not charging, doesn't appear to be charging, it could be that the battery is faulty. So I think before we progress we need to sort of peel this foam back and see if we can disconnect the battery. And that's connected to this side panel. There's an on-off switch on the side, which I did try before I started the video and it doesn't do anything. It could be that somehow that's getting sufficient power but it's not charging, but we need to be able to disconnect that battery, and it looks like it's either soldered directly onto this terminal. Doesn't look like it's a plug down there. I think I might be inclined to sort of just cut through this glue tough old glue. Okay, so let's release it. And there we have the battery unstuck. Right. So at least it wasn't glued down on there as well, which is useful. Let's take this side panel out and see what that reveals, if we can. I mean, the whole casing all looks to be like one moulded case with a rubber. No, in fact it's two part moulded. Part's definitely released. Let's try taking this front off and see if there's anything else revealed. Okay, so the front grille comes off, identical to the back. So we've got screws holding the speakers in, a screw there in the middle. Is that holding that middle mounting in? Looks like it could be. Can't see what help taking the speakers out is going to do, but it might reveal something under the speakers, so we'll take them out. A typical design of something that was never designed to be fixed. So again, maybe push the speaker out from the behind, that might be easy out. Does that reveal anything? Not really that side. It reveals the bottom edge of that. Ah, well, there's something. Ah, it must be the LED. Yes, there's a little LED hole there, I would guess. Hot snotted into there. I think for ease of access I'm going to desolder these speakers. That way I've got freedom of the wires and not have to worry about the speakers getting damaged. So let's face it, they are the most important part of the device. Still can't see how I can get at that side panel. having removed these speakers screws here, that's also revealed that bottom panel to be loose. There. That's a little bit more flexibility. And the ribbon cable on there is a bit looser. So I think I will still remove the speakers. Are they identical? Yep. 4 ohms, 3 watts. And hopefully they're just tack soldered on these connections. Clean the bit first. One. Ooh. We lost that one. There's the other one. He puts his finger on the hot connection. That was rather stupid, but there we are. So now that this panel has come out, because we've taken these 4 screws which are also holding the speaker and the middle one out, that little panel has come out. That's also released this circuit board a little bit. It's now a lot more flexible, so we can just flex it slightly to get the switches out of the little holes. Hopefully. Presumably they were just pushed in there until they popped in. There we go. So, Holly BT2. So it's Bluetooth 2. Made in 2013. 3rd of September or the 9th of March, one or the other, depending on which way around. I guess probably 9th of March. Anyway, 3 switches seem to be working. So the NFC connector connects there. That's the little LED which is glued into that. Now if I flex that little side panel out in some way. You know, the thing is that won't slide out easy because we've got this switch here. So it seems to be loose, and I'm just wondering whether it will come backwards, come in that way. If I lever it down and then lever that way, yeah, there we go. Now I'm guessing probably that hot melt glue is holding it in place there as well, where the LED is. In there. Luckily hot melt glue just creates a blob. Oh, actually it's the microphone. So there's the LED, yeah, because the LED is next to the power. That's a microphone. Interesting. So let's just take the NFC panel out as well, and there we have it, dismantled. Excellent. We should be able to flex that ribbon cable out slightly. So on this little circuit board here, which sadly is all glued in. I'm going to take the rest of that foam off of there. That's just annoying. Somewhere I'm getting in the way. Time for a quick slurp of tea. Oh, that's better. Right, so next stage is, can we get that little switch circuit out of there so that we can see if the power is getting in. Is the little charging circuit on here, which it could be. There looks to be various things. At least we can trace where things go. Let's take that microphone off. A little bit more flexibility. Yuck. Plastic glue. Is that plastic glue? Now we've got to be careful because, just make sure if I turn that off is towards the middle. So in theory it should have isolated the battery. But we've got a whole stream of connectors along here, and shorting something out might cause more problems. So I'm going to go along this top edge here. I hate this gunky stuff that he is. It's sort of like hot melt glue, but it's not glue, it's not hot melt. It's like a liquid hard glue that's hardened. I'm sure somebody knows what it is and would let me know via the comments below. Send me an email. Enough of the connectors. See if we can get some voltage readings. Let's bring Vicky over. That'll do. Let's move that up there a little bit. So remembering what it said on the other side of this battery, which you may or may not be able to read if I focus that slightly. 1150 milliamp hour. Red is plus, black is minus. Rechargeable lithium ion battery. Ocean Sun 4.26 watt hours. It didn't tell you what the white wire does, so I guess that's a monitor. So let's go by what we know. So we have 1 millivolt of charge in there. Anything between red and white, 2 millivolts. Okay, so we must assume that the charging circuit is not charging. Let's plug that in there. Let's see if we're getting any volts across the battery when it's charging. Oh, 3 volts across the battery. So the charging circuit is charging. Well, there's volts across the battery, so I'm wondering, is the battery at fault? Positive to there is 0.8 of a volt, or 800 millivolts. Negative to white, 2.9. Now if I'd have looked at this a little bit more careful before I started, I might have realised that battery looks like it's bulged. Doesn't it? It's not flat. Right. There's a chance. This is a battery for a camcorder. The one we took out is 3.7 volts, 1150 milliamp hour. This one's 3.7 volts, 1000 milliamp hour. So let's borrow the wires off of this. Just tack that on there temporarily. I just want to see, bring the power meter in there. Does it start to draw current when I plug this in? So I'm not drawing any current. Oh, hang on. Look. Started to draw current. Well, I didn't do anything. It's definitely drawing current. Maybe that light comes on when it's charged. Oh, then it stopped again. Is it bad connection? 2.8 volts across the battery terminals. That definitely started to draw current for a little while. Oh, there it goes again. Now it could be, if this battery is totally flat, this is detecting that and it's just giving it a little burst just to get it going. Because if you've ever tried to charge up a really flat battery, it won't charge straight away. Sometimes you have to give it a little nudge of a slightly higher voltage. Now it's interesting, that's now drawing current. Definitely this other battery was at bulged, as you can see on there, and I left it on when I first got this. I left it on charge for over several hours, keeping an eye on that meter, and that meter never moved once. So I'm thinking this is actually beginning to charge this battery, because it's jumping up and down. Battery's not getting hot. So maybe I removed all that extra circuitry for nothing. But thankfully there's a lot of ribbon cable we can chop off and resolder it back on. And we hopefully, if this charges, get the whole thing working again. I may have not made such a big mistake after all. But I really should have looked at that battery. Lesson learned. Well, we had a little bit of a problem with the camera, and so I had to stop the recording, but I wanted to carry on and do this, and started the camera up, and unfortunately it didn't work. It didn't do the recording, so I've had to solve that little issue. Having solved that, of course it wasn't recording, so you've missed out on all the bits of getting this back together. Now I've left this on charge because I've had to have a bit of a break, and you can see that there's a green light that shows that this battery is now fully charged, so I can disconnect that. Now as I said, the bit that was missed out on the recording was the fact that I wanted to put this ribbon cable back in that I took out erroneously because the problem was the battery. So what I did is I actually cut away the plastic so that I could feed the ribbon cable through the plastic before connecting it back up. Then connected the battery, and lo and behold, when I plugged it in, it started charging, and the Bluetooth light comes on. So if I now switch it on, it makes a little buzz and starts up, and the Bluetooth light is flashing. And if we press this button in the middle, I've discovered it will actually ask me to connect.
Battery full.
Oh, even better. I think press and hold. Right, so let's use the Bluetooth setting on my phone. Sounds cool, doesn't it? The fact that it plays this little bit of music while it's trying to connect. So let's get Bluetooth up and running.
Go ahead and connect me. Use
Okay.
the Bluetooth setting on your phone.
So we have on the list the Jabra Solemate Mini V2. 1.12 rather.
Go ahead and connect me. Use the Bluetooth setting on your phone.
So we OK the pairing request.
Solemate is connected.
Excellent. So now we can find a file that we can play back. And this is a track from the YouTube library. Ginormous robots. So all functionality seems to be working.
Battery full.
We'll switch it off. Okay, and we'll put it back together. Useful little tip is, before you go delving into anything in detail, have a look at the battery. If you've got one that's not charging, and if it looks a bit like that, i.e. very bulged, replace it for one that's not. As I said, this is a battery that I bought for a little camcorder that I've rescued, and bought a pack of 3 I think altogether, so it proved to be quite useful. This little lithium ion battery seems to work and do the job adequately. So let's put it back together. Now all I've got to do now is remember how we put it back together and what the
Solemate is connected. Battery full.
Obviously a little speech bubble. Presumably. I'll have to dig out an instruction manual for this, but anyway. Seems to be working. Yes, seems to be working. Quite a pleasing little repair, even if we did make a little bit of a erroneous bit of detective work by going down the route of thinking it's a circuit board and it actually was the battery. So there we are. Thanks very much for watching, and see you on the next video. Cheerio.